before about the secret history of social networking. I was 4 lines. I must have rewritten this thing probably 7 or 8 times. I was paranoid about getting the words right. Actually, I didn't do it at work. I went home to do it. I was that nervous about it, and I wanted to have a scotch and think about what I wanted to write. So I did. Posted it up, and I posted it up with a link that didn't work within the Deloitte network. I was horrified. I got to work on the Monday. I tested it. Didn't work. Oh, it was horrible. I'd made a fool of myself in front of the whole organisation. Chris Collicott came back and he didn't say you're an idiot. He said, thanks for sharing, Scott. You just got to love the BBC. I tried listening. Here's the link that you can use through within the confines of our environment. I've never met Chris, but I really like him. He really, like, I was so mortified. But when you've got people that actually work towards a solution, it does build trust. And that is critical. Innocentive do it a little bit differently. So they state categorically, we believe that innovation and problem solving need to evolve in order to meet the challenges of the 21st century. By unleashing human creativity, passion, diversity, we can solve problems that matter to business and society. Once you untether the search for solutions in individual, department or company, amazing things happen. Problems are solved better, faster and at lower cost than ever before. It's true. But because they've posted it up there, you know that if you contribute to that community with a genuine solution, it will be accepted. They've put out front, this is their standard of communication. This is what they're about. If you post and you align to that, you're one of them. It's actually the power of having a social media policy too within organisations, is that you give people license to contribute under a given set of guidelines. So we're seeing this stuff replicated out into other areas as well. Okay, the fourth one is incentives. Now there's 2 types of incentives. There's cash and prizes. So NRMA do it. They do heaps of competitions. We want to win VIP tickets to see Powderfinger. Now, because I'm particularly diligent at my Facebook, I actually won this competition. I got to see their last concert in Sydney. It was awesome. Whereas Innocentive are going to give me $1 million if I can speed up if I can double the speed of genome sequencing. I didn't know what a genome was, but I definitely looked it up for $1 million. I didn't have a lot of chance. I thought maybe on the off chance, I was thinking of the guy, you know, the cement fella, but unfortunately not. Now, formal incentives like cash and prizes are super critical in the early days of your community. So it doesn't matter if you're starting up a Facebook page for business, offering formal incentives are going to be the thing that fuel you the most in the early days. 100%, completely. I was actually working with a client the other day. They spent the first 6 months trying to use advertising and just natural methods. They got it up to 300. They implemented a competition just 3 weeks ago. They're now at 2,600 followers. So after 6 months of very little to go to, you know, a period of just a huge explosion, it's phenomenal over 3 weeks. But, okay, and this is Innocentive again. Because they know that the brokerage is so critical in order to fuel innovation, they will give you $10,000 just to refer the person that wins a solver challenge. It's really smart. They've figured out what the main drivers are of their business and they've incentivised those drivers. Really, really smart. Okay, informal. Informal incentives are by far and away the most powerful incentives that you can offer. They're also, though, some of the hardest to try and position or try and, what do you say? They're the hardest to tap into. So Guillaume Swiggers, 1,900 followers, you've got to expect that. But Lorena Kidd, she's a manager. She doesn't have an amazing profile. She's not somebody that you see on emails a lot. She's got 1,300 followers. People in the Deloitte business recognise that she has value and is an authority in her area, and they follow her. and she feels responsibility to those 1,300 followers. She will only post stuff that she thinks is of worth. And this starts to actually tap into things like HR. So how do you identify your talent? How do you know where the expertise sits in your business? Incidentally, people that are active on the Deloitte network, on the Deloitte Yammer network, are 20 times less likely to leave the company than those that aren't. That's a lot. Sorry? That's right, because they're invested and they're listened to and they're heard. Innocentive do something kind of similar in that they promote their solvers. So if you solve something, a puzzle or a scientific whatever, you are a hero in their eyes, and they sing it out to everybody, absolutely everybody. There's a real status to becoming an innocentive solver. They'll come in, they'll video you, they'll talk about what you did, how you came up with the solution, and they broadcast it out to their network. And so the informal side of incentives, things that link into status and those things, tremendously empowering. Okay, and the last one is the integration of technology. Now, what I found really interesting in jumping into this area is that of the 5 areas, only one of them relates to technology. All the others are human traits. So it lets you know that social media is not a technical solution, it's a human solution. And if you can tap into those aspects of you that buy into social media, you can tap into those areas for other people as well. If you approach social media from a humanistic perspective and behavioural perspective, you'll go better, faster than if you look at it from a technical perspective. It is 20% of the whole. Integrate technology. So NRMA, Innocentive have multiple presences across Facebook, Twitter, all that sort of stuff. And what that actually allows you to do is it allows you to meet people where they spend their time. So to get your, it's not the genome, but you can put up the genome puzzle here or other events that are going on within your world. NRMA Free to Go, because they're trying to get those younger people into their business, then Facebook is a natural, it's where they spend their time. It's a natural alignment. Mobile devices. So both Yammer and NRMA both do mobile apps, and it's about integrating. It's trying to integrate into people's lives. Digital communications, as I was saying today, digital communications is now the fastest growing technology in human history. Ever. Nothing has ever proliferated at the pace or to the degree that the digital communications is now. Where we're up to now is completely unprecedented. And mobile technologies is a real critical part of development. And the last one is desktop. So Yammer do a desktop thing, which pops up. They also do an email, and Innocentive do an email. And what the Yammer email does that's really, really interesting is it'll send me comments and stuff of people that I don't even follow, because it knows that its job is to bring together diverse backgrounds, people that may not follow each other normally, but actually could potentially have a point of commonality. So the technology is there to facilitate brokerage. That's its number one function. So those are the 5 elements of connected innovation. So brokering subgroups, active leadership, culture of trust, provision of incentives, and integration of technology. Now, the reason I chose this image, I love this image. Theoretically, like, social media and innovation is simple. It's a bit like throwing a bullseye, but it doesn't make it easy. Okay, throwing a bullseye is one of the simplest things theoretically that you could do, but actually, to get there, to be able to do it regularly and to do it with proficiency, it takes practice and rehearsal. And innovation is exactly the same thing. I asked at the beginning have a think about where you're up to with your innovation process.